Hey, all, Pastor Emil here with, I don't know, I guess maybe this is another episode of Sweet Jesus. I was thinking it was just going to be a short little video, kind of like I did the other day, but the more been sitting here thinking about this, the more there is maybe to say. Hopefully not too long. Intended this to just be a little encouragement. You may have noticed I'm a little overdressed maybe for the occasion. Certainly not dressed how you may have seen me most often. I just came from a funeral. It's a funeral for a 6-year-old boy that was part of our CDC, our Child Development Center, Child Care Center, right across the parking lot over here. And holy cow, 6-year-old gone. The last I heard, we don't even really know why. Maybe there's been some information since that I have yet to stumble upon, but man, 6-year-old, beautiful little boy. What a great kid. Saw him here in chapel so many times. Graduated last May and graduated kindergarten this year. One morning, just didn't wake up. And then, of course, there's this last weekend. We've got one person that lost their mind, did something stupid, and is now dead. We've got another person that was called to protect his family, and he did in a chaotic and crazy moment, and now he is dead. He is laid down his life for his loved ones. There were 2 others wounded pretty critically. Lives will never be the same. One, a president, is alive because he turned his head. I watched something this morning or yesterday that there was this woman talking about how she'd been to a bunch of Trump rallies and, he's always looking forward. He never really turns his head, not like this, not completely. And he had a slide to show up on a screen, and he turned his head, his body, and was pointing to it. And if he had not done that, he'd be gone. And just think about the chaos that would have likely unfolded in the aftermath of that. And so what does all that say to us? Well, maybe many things, but certainly that life is precious. We should not take it for granted. We should give God the glory for all the little moments that could have spelled the end for us and didn't. We should be thankful for all the people that have laid down their lives for us, and look for the courage to face a crazy world. Stir ourselves up for what we need to do in a life that is full of all kinds of stuff, all kinds of difficulties and painful moments. Of course, also enjoy it. Go home and hug your kids, hug your spouse, hug your loved ones, whoever they may be. Whatever special people you have in your life, do not take them for granted. Get right with the Lord. If you don't know Jesus, if you don't have any kind of hope beyond what we see around us each and every day, find some. I mean, the things that we pour our lives into, the things that we invest in, the things we build our lives on that are not Jesus are like sand. There's a Bible story about this. Building a life on Jesus is like building on solid rock, and building a life on anything else is like building on sand. It's real hard to build anything on sand. It comes down very easily when it's built on sand. When it's built on solid rock, There's lots of things that can come to try and shake that life, shake that house, shake that uh, uh, whatever it is that you've built, right? If it's built on the rock of Jesus, there's a lot more hope. And the fact that we are all going to meet our end at some point means you got to be building on something that can withstand the types of things that we have seen this weekend and in this particular case today with this funeral. But also, uh, get on with the good that you've been put here to do. Life is not just about enjoying life in what it has become to be understood as. It's not just about that vacation. It's not just about that movie or that exciting experience that you're looking for. I'm not saying you shouldn't do those things, but I think we're in a moment, especially post-COVID, where everyone was chasing that thing, that trip that you always wanted to take, that item on your bucket list. Well, yeah, I guess you should do those things, but there's also a lot of good that we have been put here to do. And we spend an awful lot of time chasing after these other things, and more I'm finding in myself and I'm finding in the people around me that we are neglecting perhaps the things that matter the most. And as far as the political vitriol and the extremes kind of on both sides, I really feel that that's about us in the middle, the 80% of reasonable people that have just wanted to have nothing to do with any of what's going on. And investing all of our time, maybe if we spend any on what's going on in our country and our state, right? We invest it on the national stage and we neglect the things that may matter far more locally. And that's not even counting the fact that's just a thing because of what we just went through this last weekend. There are so many other things that we've been called to do, so many important things to shine a light in this world, to be salt, as Jesus said, to push back against the decay of the world. This idea of entropy, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but basically in thermodynamics, there's this way of, you have these different equations that you're trying to solve for in a given system of energy, and they have this thing, delta S, entropy, that is used to essentially account for the fact that the world is just becoming more and more disordered and chaotic every moment. And so you have to factor that into a system that you may be studying. You have to factor in entropy, factor in chaos, no matter what. So the world is on a constant trajectory towards disorder and chaos. What are we doing to bring order and stability and peace and calm, to shine a light, to be salt, right? Salt's used as a preservative in the first century. Jesus says to be salt. He's saying to be pushing back against the decay of what's, you put this in your meat, you put this in a variety of things to fight back against decay, to preserve things. What are we doing to make this world the best it can be for our kids, for our grandkids, our great-grandkids, and for the neighbors that are around us today? Not just people that live next door to us, but neighbors in the biblical sense. Other people that God has called us to be as responsible for as we can in everything that we say and do. So, again, a little bit longer maybe than I had anticipated. I guess about 10 minutes. But life is precious. Enjoy it. Hug your kids. Hug your spouse. Hug your loved ones, whoever they may be. Call them. Life is short. Be a blessing. Don't let all kinds of nonsense gets you distracted, gets you caught up in what's wrong with the world, enjoy it. Get right with the Lord. Jesus has promised that this world is not the end, that there is something beyond this that is so much better, that is far beyond anything we can even begin to imagine. But we can start by thinking about all the things that scare us, all the things that make this world so disappointing and dangerous, and just those things. Take those things out. Take away the crime. Take away injustice. Take away pain and suffering. Take away death. And what do you have? You've got an incredible world just with that, not even counting how much better it will be, because it's God, because it's what Jesus is preparing for us right now. And get on with the good that God has called you to do, because there is not enough time. There simply is not enough. And in particular, especially given the sermon series we're doing on witness, I want to share a story with you, really inspiring story. Many of you know Axel. Axel's a guy that has basically been sleeping on our bench here at church for the better part of, well, I don't know, almost the whole time I've been here. He kind of disappeared for 6 to 9 months at one point, and then a couple of months at another point, but really he's been here. He is on a great trajectory right now. He is finally in with Social Security and disability, and maybe getting some military benefits that he is entitled to. So many good things. I'm excited for him. He's not been drinking. He's sober for at least, what is it now? July, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least 10 months. Okay, maybe 11. That's how long he has been sober. Praise the Lord. And do you know what he wants to do with his first Social Security check? He wants to buy a bus ticket or a train ticket, and he wants to head back to where he's from, where he's born and kind of spent the bulk of his life. And he wants to go find anybody that is related to him, anyone that might still be around. He's got a lot of people, parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, all that kind of stuff. They've all long since passed. But he wants to find anyone, especially a couple of nephews. He wants to find anyone he can that is part of his family, so that he can go and share the good news of Jesus with them, so that he can be a living testimony to them. Hey, you knew me before. You knew how much of a mess I was. Look at me now. Look at what God has done in me. Let me tell you how he has made my life so much better, how he's given me the strength to face all kinds of difficulties and pain. I mean, this man, the amount of pain that he deals with on a daily basis is pretty outstanding, pretty incredible. And I just hope that brief little retelling of his story and his desire to go see people he loves and tell them about Jesus will inspire you to get on with the good that God has called you to do, which is at the very least to be a witness to Jesus wherever he's placed you. A witness in the lives of the people that are close to you, places where you live, work, and play. God be with you. Hug them real tight tonight. God bless you. Bye-bye.